Yeah,
Welcome back.
We can be growing machines.
Noted. Welcome back to the City of Palms podcast. This is episode 32 with Alan De La Torre. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing pretty good. How about y'all?
We're doing very well. You had an eventful
Glad to
day?
hear. Yeah, not really. My day sucked dick.
Really?
Yeah, I was...
Well, you were in the gym. Well, that's good.
I hit the gym for like 20 minutes, maybe.
That's better than 0 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely better than 0 minutes. But yeah, I was just awake since like, okay, so last night, it was 10 p.m. I started processing orders and putting shipping labels on bags for merchandise for my band Traders. And that went until 4 a.m. until I passed out and kind of woke up all groggy with a cat stepping on my face at 11 a.m. and continue processing orders, putting stickers on bags for another until 4 p.m. And then, anyways, yeah, just got done with that at 4, dropped it off at USPS, hit the gym for not enough time, and then made my way over to my first ever podcast. I've never done a podcast before.
We're glad to have you, dude.
Oh, hell yeah, I'm glad to be here.
I thought about starting just from the beginning of all your projects and stuff, but I think it might be better to go over all of your projects. Like this, what is your like typical grind? What are all because you've got a lot of things going on.
Yeah, I am a man of too much. I am Alan De La Torre, the guitarist of Traders. I am Alan De La Torre of Gutter Love, and I'm also Gutter God, which is my rap project. And I have Scum Apparel, which is my apparel company that I have like kind of umbrellaed over most of these bands that I release stuff under. They also have their own designs, but it's mostly just like Gutter Love and Gutter God merch.
Okay.
Yeah, Gutter Love, by the way, is like folk music, kind of punk influenced folk music.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're listening to it. It's really good.
Right on, thank you.
Yeah.
It's really weird. Like on one album that has like, it's like an hour long with 30 songs on it. And one of the songs is just like a full electric, like hardcore song. It's like the other one's like some weird gypsy folk thing talking about wanting to die and not wanting my grandma to be sad about it. I don't know. It's just weirdness.
It's interesting to see the different styles from your Gutter God project to Gutter Love, and then I haven't listened to Traders, but that's a whole different genre of stuff too.
Oh yeah, Traders is just like very heavy. I guess it's technically like fits into deathcore, or maybe just like slowed down metalcore. We went like new metal for a time. We created a genre called New Hate for like one album. We're just kind of still finding our footing in Traders as well. Like, I don't know for metal bands, but I know they say for musicians it takes 5 years to reach maturity until you actually know like what you're supposed to be doing sound wise, and we're on year 6 and we're still mixing it up. So I'm not sure. The people appear to be enjoying it, so fuck it. It's mostly just Tyler Shelton, our vocalist, is a fucking monster. He's got vocals like no one else in a genre where a lot of the vocals sound the same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's nice. I've been doing backup vocals too, because it started just when we were on stage. I would like scream into the crowd certain parts that were like emphasis bits, but then I think maybe a year ago or 2 years ago I started getting on the microphone live, and then in the last album I'm actually on the album as well for a couple songs with vocal parts. So it's cool. It's nice stretching my abilities.
Oh yeah.
I'd like to be able to sing well, but I guess my folk punk is kind of screamy too. I'm not a great singer. I've got a really low bassy voice.
It works though. So is that your full-time grind, or do you have any sort of day job?
Actually, I was recently fired. I was a screen printer and like sign worker, I guess, sign guy. I used to like install channel lettering and shit at the last place I worked at, but most recently, I worked at this shop, Bella, and they kind of just like laid me off after coming back from a tour, which, you know, is understandable. You got to take care of your business. If I'm coming and going, you got to have somebody reliable that can keep shit going.
Yeah.
But, man, the other people that work there, it's just like brutal that they can't like quite hold it together. So he actually brought me back, what was it, like, yesterday. Yeah, no, day before yesterday, because I had to take today off of work to fucking finish all those packages. But yeah, hopefully I'm probably going back to work tomorrow. I get paid pretty well, and it's like something to keep me waking up at 8 a.m. and like going to sleep at a healthy time. It's nice to like be a little bit regulated, but at the same time, ultimately, I'm like, hey, I'm can't. I'm gonna be gone for a month and a half, so I'll see you later, and hopefully you would like to pay me when I get back.
Yeah. How many tours have you gone on?
I don't know. I don't know. I've not counted. Let's call it, because it fluctuates too. Like at one point I was on tour for like 7 months out of the year. But then this year I've probably only been on tour, including the fact that I'll be on tour for the full month of November. I've probably only been on tour for like 3 months this year. So I think maybe in like somewhere between, to put it broadly and not lie, somewhere between like 15 and 30, I think. I'm really not sure. I'm super bad at like numbers on top of remembering things in general. Kind of just a burnt out. I should not have done all those research chemicals when I was so young, man. I was in high school and I was like, weed leads to shrooms, and then my friend's like, what about 2CP? And I'm like, what the fuck's that? And I was like, come to find out my friends are buying all these chemicals online from China and Poland that haven't yet been made illegal by the Homolog Act. And so it's like some motherfucking crazy Chinese chemist that's like, all right, LSD's illegal, but this chemically kind of looks like it. If you just move that carbon molecule over one on the nitrogen chain there, okay, let's try that. Give it to the Americans. They'll fucking eat it. And so I was that guy, and it didn't pan out. So don't do drugs. I've been working ever since diligently to maintain what mental faculties I have left, but memory is not my ally.
Is Scum Apparel, are you, those are all your designs, right? Or do you just manage it?
Scum Apparel is all of the designs for Scum Apparel and Gutter Love and Gutter God. Those designs are either made by me on Adobe Illustrator, or like I have one design that's like an old meme from like fucking like 10 years ago on 4chan type shit. And then I have some designs like I have outsourced from some dude in Canada who's a lazy dickhead, and some dude in Indonesia is like some Indonesian kid that's just like good at that really tight death metal art. So I paid him $40 for a sick piece of art.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I kind of source around. Also, Duke Stamina did a design for me just for free.
Tight.
Yeah, it was fucking sick. Yeah, he's a boss. I love that dude.
Hell yeah. So out of all these, and you skate too, right?
I love skateboarding. Yeah.
Do you play sports too? You like play football? Or?
I was in every single sport in like elementary school, middle school, and it fucking didn't work. I just didn't stick to shit. And my mom figured at least skateboarding was semi-positive and would keep me away from drugs, and it didn't. But it was positive, and once I got over the drugs, I've like been re-infatuated with skateboarding. It's like so great to have like a fire in my life. It sucks that sometimes that the love of my life causes me to like fucking hit my head on like railings and shit. I don't jump down stairs anymore or nothing, but like, yeah, it's nice to have something that feels good, and it's like exercise too. Yeah. That's the only way I'm getting really, really good cardio. I can't be sitting on that fucking Stairmaster.
For sure.
I feel you.
So, taking it a step back, there's a lot we can get into. Did you grow up around here?
I was born in the Chicago area, in like suburbs, like a half an hour or an hour outside of Chicago, and I moved to Fort Myers, I believe. It was 1 week before Hurricane Charlie hit. Oh. So I just got barraged with hurricanes for that season. I think it was 2004.
Welcome to Florida.
Yeah, straight the shit up. We were like in the closet. My mom was freaking out. It was great.
Yeah, Charlie was no joke.
But yeah, all my hooligan years, all my growing up was in Fort Myers pretty much.
True. So, between the music projects, the 3 big ones going on, how do you... And those are 3 active, you're still pursuing...
Yeah, those are all... I just released the Mango LP for Gutter Love about 2 months ago or something, a month ago. And that one is... They're all on like Spotify and iTunes and shit. Yeah. Gutter God, I just recorded a new song with Clip at the Red Table Studios. It's the world's first mobile recording unit. It's fucking sick. He's just got like a transit and like hollowed it out, put floors and a fucking desk in there and a microphone.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. Awesome. So yeah, I'm pursuing all of this shit actively. Like I said, I just got done shipping traders orders, and like we're doing all of that shit ourselves. And like we just recently got a manager who's kind of taking it slow, getting to learn us before he starts really digging in. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, those three at least are active. And then I have a death metal, another side project. Aside from that, that was actually my old band, Misanthropic Tyrant, which is not active, but that band will never die, so we'll probably just like release another song and some shirts soon, which is on some bullshit. And then I have another side project, Coprophagic Compulsion, with my love Dylan Becker. He's a fucking amazing death metal vocalist. He had a guest spot on Infant Annihilator's album. It's fucking good shit going.
Jesus.
I have way too much shit going.
You got a lot going on. How many bands have you been in your life?
Not that many, actually. Not any that played live. Let me see. Before Misanthropic Tyrant, which was like my high school and college band, I was in a band. What was it? The Hypatia Complex. It was a THC also, which is funny as hell. I think there was another one. What was it? The Atrocities of Man. Yeah, that one actually played a show. It was terrible. We played a show with Boudinais, who used to do local metal shows in Fort Myers, if anyone remembers. And he was in the fucking back of Ethos with us fucking learning this song that he had never heard. And it's like, we got 4 minutes. And so it was like really, really bad. But it was my first taste at a show. It was earnest as fuck.
For Gutter Love, do you... For that, like the music in the background, is that all you? Like
Gutter Love?
You do
yeah,
everything,
I do.
Right?
Well, not everything, no, because it's like Gutter Love. My first real album that I released on like Spotify and everything. That was me playing everything. So I played banjo, ukulele, guitar, and there was like tambourine and harmonica on there. And then on I Hope Hell Has Wi-Fi. I had like Hunter Dahlin do violin and lap steel guitar and mandolin, and Danny, fucking can't remember his last name right now, but Danny came in and did piano, and I had a couple of guest vocalists as well on that album. And then on the most recent album, the Mango LP, I did pretty much most of the strings, and then is anyone else on strings? I don't think so. And then definitely had Chris Angel come in and lay down some fat ass fucking harmonica on there. That dude can play some motherfucking harmonica. He's got his band Sleep Drifting, which is fucking way better than Gutter Love, but he fucking likes to hang around, and we used to fucking just get shit faced and do some Gutter Love. And then Cody and Co. Also, Cody, can't fucking remember Cody's last name either. Cody and Co.
Yeah.
He's fucking got his banjo and usually plays with me live as well. So it's fucking sick to have like some people to play with live, and I switch it up. Sometimes Hunter Dahlin will come out live, and I've had situations where I was playing with Hunter Dahlin and his girlfriend, which was 2 fiddles, and then Chris Angel was there and Cody was there playing banjo, and I think I had something else. No, I never had a trombone player. I Hope Hell Has Wi-Fi. My homie from college came over and did some trombone, but I've never played with him live.
Man, when did you get into music?
Yeah, I was wondering, when did art start? Like, what was the start of art for you?
I remember I started playing trumpet in elementary school. I was playing trumpet in, like, the school band. I don't remember really much before that in the way of, like, what was my decision on getting into music. That's interesting. I never thought about that. But, and then I kind of just did trumpet, and I probably gave up on it pretty immediately. No, we moved to Florida, and I tried to do trumpet lessons here, but the trumpet teacher was a fucking dick. So I didn't like that, and I ended up just dropping trumpet altogether. I think I was, like, renting their trumpet, too. Anyways, fuck it. Save my mom some money. And then I ended up having one of my best friends to this day, Kurt Tyson. I was staying at his house all the time, and he was, like, a musical family. His dad was, like, a guitar player. They had, like, Marshall full stacks and shit. And then his older brother would play the bass, and he would play the drums. And he's still a badass drummer to today. But, like, something about, like, going over there and, like, just being around it. It was, like, his guitar that his dad gave him, this little, like, mini, what was it? Some mini guitar, electric guitar that they gave him. And I started plucking away at it, and, like, that was it. But I do vividly remember when I was younger, before I even went to Kurt's house, I remember having a dream in between, like, that I was enjoying music, but it was that, like, because I didn't like trumpet because my teacher was a dick, but that I just, like, some weird essence of, like, strings, and I, like, remember a guitar and, like, looking at it in this dream and being like, there's so many strings and notes, that looks so fucking difficult, but I, like, just was able to play it, and I think that, like, somehow factored into me deciding to be like, yeah, I think I should make my mom buy me a guitar. Which is a serious investment as an 11-year-old. You gotta get mom to fucking get on board with this Christmas present. And God bless her, she's been supportive as anyone.
Hell yeah. What was your first guitar? Do you remember?
My first guitar was a Takamine C-Series, which I still have, but one of the machine heads on it is broken, so it's just been sitting in its case in my closet. It's got stickers all over it. Actually, I think there's a crack in it, too, that I was covering up with stickers. It's a great guitar. I haven't looked at it in like 3 years, so I'm gonna let it stew a little bit more before I get back to it. Right now, I have a Taylor Big Baby that I've been playing on, and neither of them have actual electrics on it, so I always have to like get the fucking bullshit little fake acoustic pickup that is never of high quality. I think you just have to drill it in. If you ask for like, what's the cheapest, best quality? You just buy a new guitar, kid, and fucking over your shit at Guitar Center. But they let people play the drums again. I thought they outlawed it, but now they're allowing people to play the acoustic drums at my local Guitar Center, which is fucking hellish. I walked in at one point with a headache, and there was, like, they have several different acoustic drum sets, and all of them are being played at once. There's, like, one's like a Hispanic dude who could actually kind of play, and then there's just two kids behind him just boom, boom. Yeah. It was rough.
Jeez.
What were we talking about?
Music. And on that note, what kind of music were you listening to, like, in high school as you started to get older and shit that maybe inspired where you're at today?
I'll tell you what, Kurt Tyson, he had that Dirty CD. He had the motherfucking Disturbed Down with the Sickness CD. I don't remember what the CD was called, but I heard that ooh ah 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 ah. And my life has fucking changed forever, I tell you. It went straight from, like, I was listening to, like, NSYNC and, like, I don't even remember what when I was a kid. And I was just, like, I was into Bob Marley because my parents were into Bob Marley. He's tight, to be fair, but, yeah, I wasn't, like, that musically evolved. And I, like, found Disturbed pretty much, and it was like, oh, shit, I like metal, don't I? And then it went straight from Disturbed to Lamb of God. And, like, from there, like, pretty much Suicide Silence was the next step with The Cleansing in 2011. Was like, boom, that's where I need to be right now. It was fucking, that's really what got me into, like, that style of heavier metal. It's like, you can do weird stuff that people on the radio aren't doing.
So, do you have to set, like, any sort of schedule for yourself to do all these different projects, or do you just flow with the inspiration?
I fucking so should. I wish I could fucking muster a schedule. I just come in waves of chronic depression and debilitating inability, and then I'll just, like, one day wake up and fucking remember that I have these, like, 5 things to do, and, like, just, like, fucking rock right through a checklist in a day. It's really weird. I'm, like, genuinely at this point in my life over the past year or so trying to organize more of this shit into a workflow.
Yeah.
It's real weird, though, with the touring and, like, non-consistency.
And plus with music, it must be hard, similar to visual art and stuff, whereas you can't really, like, treat it like clock in, clock out, because to make music and to make art, you have to, like, feel something and, like, be able to put it out there. And sometimes you have to work through that, like block or whatever of non-inspiration.
Yeah, my drummer is very confident in the fact that it's like you do need that inspiration, and sometimes that inspiration is just how fucking pissed off you are that you're stuck in the studio with your fucking friends that you for some reason just want to murder.
Yeah.
It's like, sometimes the stress in that can really, like, bring... It works well for metal, I guess, since it is more aggressive in that sense, but... I also do gutter love like that as well, kind of just coming up with stuff, like, on the moment to where it's like, if you know exactly what you want, then it's not right. Because there's something out there that's better and you need to do some muddling around to find the fucking shiny gold piece.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the question was again, I'm sorry.
No, well, I was wondering, because with Gutter Love and Gutter God, are there times you find yourself, because there's just, like, such different styles, really, or you might be, like, sitting down to work on a Gutter God project, and then you just like, does your mind ever trail over to like, I'm feeling more inspired towards like playing guitar or whatever?
If anything that would happen, yeah, kind of, yes. Because I'll be coming up with like lyrics because that's normally how I write Gutter Love, as well as I do write some lyrics for Traders, as well as obviously you gotta write lyrics for rap for Gutter God.
Yeah.
So I'll be writing lyrics that I'm planning on using for Gutter Love based off of this whole concept that I had for Gutter Love. And it's like, I got these couple of lines, and it's like, I'll end up scrapping the entire song, and I'll take these 3 lines that I like, and I'll kind of use it to like start off a Gutter God song, because it's not like, I'll end up being like, oh, I didn't want to go for like that aggressive of a vibe, and it's not that like existential, and it's not that questioning. It's kind of more just like aggressive and like drug-induced culture type thing. And then even from there, I'll have like lyrics for Traders that I'm trying to write Traders lyrics like in the crunch, and I'll be writing some silly ass shit that like everyone's like, it's not bad, but no. So that'll just be in my phone. I end up finding it like a year later, and it's like, oh yeah, I could use that for this.
Yeah, I guess that could work if you do come up with any sort of...
the bright side of not being able to focus.
Yeah.
You just end up kind of trying to cross-utilize.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you produce for the Gutter God project?
I have been making beats and stuff on Logic Pro X, and I'm just not really good at mixing and mastering when I need to like make sure that things come out at the right decibel level. Like, I can listen to things in my speaker and kind of mix it how I want, but I'm not that technically inclined, so I wouldn't call myself a producer. I'm more of a, I guess, like, more like on the artist side of creating beats, not technical.
I got you.
Yeah. Oh, that was a really good way to explain it. I did not think I was going to pull that one off.
Nailed it, dude. You recorded at Corrector Studios, right?
Yes, I have recorded at Corrector Studios and at 1776 Recordings and Red Table Studios. Yeah. This is the only spots I really go to. Corrector is my boy Sean McHenry.
Yeah, he came in through here.
Yeah, I saw that.
With his boys, and he likes recording with you. He had a lot of good things to say about you.
Sean's my motherfucking brother. That man is goddamn a sweetheart to the core. And he can also get shit done. And he'll also fucking murder people at the end days, yo. I can't wait for the apocalypse to happen. That motherfucker's gonna need an axe in those meat claws. He's gonna take us to the motherfucking Wingstop. We're gonna run up in that bitch and get some supplies, you know what I mean?
I feel you.
Yeah, he's a sweetheart. I love him.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Good guy. He can skate, too.
Motherfucker can skate. Have you seen old footage of him?
Yes, dude.
Did you see him in that movie? He's in a movie, like an actual, like, was in movie theaters movie. He's like a skater in a plaza. I can't remember what it's called. It's like XXYX or some shit. But, yeah, he's like skating in this plaza, and some people are talking about another main character, and they like call the main character over after she's like flirting with him, and she like walks away, and he's like, oh no. It's really funny just to see like your friend that you know real well, but like 20 years ago and in a fucking movie. That is just like random as fuck.
For sure. Real quick, before we get into other topics, we're going to take a quick break. And before I send it to the ads, you, the viewers, can probably notice that we got some decorations up because it is October, my favorite season.
Spooky season.
Hell yeah. And if you don't like listening to the ads, what you can do right now, I'm going to tell you. Click a new tab, open up our Patreon, and I just uploaded a special podcast for Patreon listeners only. Ooh. So if you are a Patreon supporter in any way, whether it's $2, $5, $10, $20, anything, you can have access to the episode. And the episode, I think it's an hour and a half long of just me. Danny's not in it, so sorry if you like listening to Danny. It's just me and Delaney Cornforth talking about horror movies. And we talk about our top 5 favorite horror movies and our top 5 that we think are the greatest horror movies ever. And it was a really, really great talk. So if you're a Patreon supporter, you can get access to that. So now enjoy the ads. We'll be right back.
Hell yeah.
Especially when you don't see him, you just hear him and his chanting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and dude, it's scary, and that just goes to show that if you have a novel idea, if you have, because I think that what most of the most influential stories in horror and in just entertainment in general, the most influential stories are ones that do more than one thing. I'm sitting here with Heather Graves and Corey Graves of Into the Graves Productions, and on November 9th, they have a big event coming up, Punksgiving, and I just wanted you all to hear from them what they've got going on. What's happening?
So November 9th at Rackham's, we are going to have Punksgiving, and it's going to be a punk show and a food drive, and we're going to have the Monsters from Outer Space, Kindly Shut Up, Offset Era, Butch Queen and the Bad Habits, Diphalia, and Warm Like Winter.
Woo.
And the Camaros. And the Camaros. They
Hell
just
yeah.
got added on.
And then it's a raffle type deal where, how's that work?
Yeah, so we're gonna have a food drive. So if people bring 3 cans, they get a raffle ticket, and then they can win a prize. And then the food is gonna get donated to Cape Vineyard, which is like right next to Rackham's. They feed the homeless. So we wanted to donate to someone that actually, did something really good.
November 9th, be there or be square. 8
Yeah.
p.m. is when it starts, and it's going to go all night, and it's going to be a grand old time.
Oh,
I'll be
yeah.
there, they'll be there.
2 stages and a food truck too.
Yep. 2 stages, food truck, booze.
Hell yeah. Is the food truck picked out yet?
Yes.
Yeah, it's called the Hunger Station. I haven't had it yet, but I think it'll be pretty good.
Oh yeah. It's food.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of booze.
Yeah.
And a bunch of crazy shenanigans all
two
night.
full liquor bars.
And some great bands.
Yeah.
And for a good cause.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's gonna be like all punk music, so I'm really excited about having people come from out of town too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because one of the bands is coming all the way from South Carolina.
Really?
Yeah.
Which one is that?
The
Monsters
Monsters
from
from
Outer
Outer Space.
Wow.
Yeah, and like Warm Like Winter's coming from Orlando, and Butch Queen and the Bad Habits, they're from Orlando?
I don't think so. I think they're from Tampa. They might be from Orlando. I don't know.
Yeah, they're coming in though.
They're from out of town. They're driving in.
Gathering in Cape Coral. And November 9th is my birthday, so if you want to come say hi to me and see my smiling face. be
Buying
there.
drinks.
Yeah.
Come get him drinks.
Get this guy a drink.
Oh, we want this guy really drunk by the end of the night.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, so Punksgiving 2019. Is there anything else you guys want to add?
Not really. Just come. It's a free show.
Yeah.
There's
Come
no
have fun.
excuse to not come.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, see you all there. The City of Palms podcast is brought to you by Anchor. Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When I was trying to get this podcast off the ground, I had a lot of questions like, how do I record an episode? How do I get my show onto all the apps people use? How do I make money from the podcast? And the answer to all this is really simple, Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. And best of all, it's 100% free and ridiculously easy to use. And now Anchor can match you with great sponsors who want to advertise on your podcast. That means you can get paid right away. In fact, that's what I'm doing right now by reading this ad. Me and Danny searched all over the internet for different outlets for distributing and recording and for websites that would host our podcast, and a lot of them you have to pay money or it's really complicated, and especially for someone just starting out. And Anchor really was an answer to all that because you can record straight on Anchor. It's very user friendly and it's totally free. We don't have to pay a penny to use this, and so it's great for anyone who's wanting to start out. And so if you're wanting to start your own podcast and make money doing it, go to anchor.fm/start. That's anchor.fm/start to join me in the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. I can't wait to hear your podcast.
This is Bob Parlocha with your 9 p.m. to 7 a.m. jazz.
And with that, we're back. I hope you enjoyed those ads. All right, so I wanted to ask you. What did I want to ask you? I had a question just now. I want to steer. No, that's what I was gonna. I was gonna ask if you have, because like the reason you do music and art and stuff is not for like the success of it or whatever. You do it for you ultimately. But have you noticed any like different degrees of success in your projects and stuff?
Yes. I mean, and also it has become a thing to where I'm like, I got fired for my love and pursuit of music. So at that point, it's like, fuck, I gotta really go out and fucking print a bunch of t-shirts and just eat shit a bunch of nights and just hope people like them and come out and fucking pay $20 for a t-shirt and shit. So at a point, there is like that motivation. So it's not like to this day, it's just purely out of love. But I have seen it. I've seen it how it works more so, and even just down to like putting my music on Spotify finally, and then I get residual income, which is totally not livable, but still. I mean, it's all of these little things compiling. You kind of learn how to just be more organized and forward thinking. I don't know. I've also, at the same time, having said that, need to take more time to just, hey, fucking have a cup of tea, sit down, watch the sunset, enjoy what you've done. All right, now get back to work. All right.
Hell yeah. On that, because I'm a believer in, like, all, because I kind of have different projects too that are all very different things, but I always think if one of them, like, becomes any sort of, like, big success, it kind of, like, fuels all the rest of them, and they can all kind of grow together into a forest, you know?
Yes.
And, is there anyone that you look towards as, like, an inspiration as far as, like, having all these fronts and them all building together into some conglomerate?
Well, there's a lot of people that do that, really. And I feel like with most of those people, you really aren't going to even know. But, like, a great example is the dude from Gas Monkey Garage. The guy that owns that one. He's on Fast and Loud.
Richard Rollins?
Yeah, Richard Rollins.
Yeah.
Dude's a badass, but, like, he pretty much started with the same thing. He started with his passion and love for cars, and he fucking took off. And even, like, when he was young, he was doing all this little shit. Like, you can't be proud about how you get your money. You're out there fucking mowing lawns. You're fucking doing anything you can. And so at a certain point, he's, okay, I got a little bit of money to invest, and he's doing this and that. He's got fucking phone chargers at every truck stop I stop at. He's got his fucking energy drinks and shit. But all of that is just off of Gas Monkey. On top of that, him and his wife own healthcare companies.
No
and they're
way.
fucking, yeah, they like own fucking retirement homes. They like do that serious shit. Like, yeah, if you're, like, that's what I'm saying. If you are one of those truly successful people that you, like, I don't think you're going to see all of the things that they do necessarily. I think that you're just going to be like, oh, yeah, no, you didn't know that I trade in stocks? Yeah, that's like 30% of my income. I have 7 sources of income. And you're like, fuck. Like, gotta get on that train. At a certain point, I think, like, Attila is a good example of that kind of. The Franz got on MTV Made when that was going, whenever the fuck that was. And he kind of ate shit for a while and was fucking in this touring metal band and then figured out what to do. And he realized all of these kids love fucking thinking about aliens and eating pizza and face tattoos, and I am gonna be their fucking king. And he did it. And he's now like every fucking, I don't want to even say it like that, but lots and lots of people who like that lifestyle look up to him because he is the epitome of that kind of shit. And with his metal band, he made it. And with his clothing company, he made it. And he got put on as the front of a record label, even if he's not doing a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff, which a man can only fucking do so much. But he's the face of a record label, which is coordinated with his clothing company, which is coordinated with his band. And then I don't know what the fuck he does beyond that, but he definitely does something because he has over $1 million in net worth at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of the shit that you want to be fueling is going to be on the back burner. I think if you have a main image and it's something that you're really bringing up on, like I'm not even following my own advice here because I definitely have my own face in Gutter Love and my own face in Gutter God. And if you just heard Gutter God, you would have no fucking belief that Gutter Love is the same thing.
Yeah, right.
But it's like, at least, well, if I'm doing Traders, that same fan base is like in some way connecting to Gutter Love because it's a lot of like the outcasts or a lot of people with maybe issues with anxiety or depression. And then at the same time, it's like all the same demographics that work out, but I'm putting too many faces on it. Like I could just be the guitarist for Traders and then be putting all of my business endeavors in more of a metal focused direction. But I mean, it's a fucking passion of love. I fucking love Gutter Love and I just like to scream and be silly.
Yeah. And we talked about inspirations earlier, but with Gutter God, because me and Danny are big fans of hip-hop, and we listen to a lot of Gutter God on SoundCloud that you have released.
Hell yeah.
What inspirations do you have on that front?
I have been rapping since I was in high school. I think I was like my sophomore year in high school. I started like freestyling and stuff, or maybe earlier than that. Right. And it's just something that I've always enjoyed, and I'm fucking whiter than rice, so clearly never like really thought that I could do anything with it. And then at a certain point, I'm like getting a little bit of notoriety in this metal community, and obviously there's all these white rappers out now, like Suicide Boys is fucking huge, this and that. So it's like, I really enjoy it, and I don't want to be shitty, but I know I'm pretty good at it. I see people get on stage at local shows, and it's just like, dude, you're rough. From the cup and the mic to the shitty lyrics to the generic patterning, you're fucking rough. It's the same thing, like, I do comedy now. I've been trying to do stand-up comedy for the last month or two, and it's literally just because I saw somebody suck, and I was like, well, I'm not funny, but I'm funnier than you. I have these stoner thoughts all day that I could, like, maybe remember to write some down. And it just fucking works. Yeah, so my inspiration for that though is a lot of my more hooligan years when it was more drug and ignorance induced. And there's something to be said for going dumb, but at the end of the day, you want to have control over your faculties.
Yeah.
So there is some shit like there's a gutter god line, like I waver back and forward, and a lot of it is pulling from the worst aspects of myself. And there's gutter god verse. God damn, how can you live with the way that you act? Get off your ass. I understand that you got problems, but the drugs that you do won't solve them. Rich parents sick of your shit so you can't call them. Sitting in the pity pit, you a silly bitch, but you lying saying that you ballin'. Which I said it as whitely as possible just there. But it's like, fucking straight calling. Oh, I mean, I have a great relationship with my parents. But other than that, I'm calling myself the fuck out. Like, you gotta fucking be taking care of business. Can't be like, it's great. Yeah, your watch is cool. But did you fucking waste your advance on your watch? Like, to a certain point. You can't hate on people succeeding, but I'll hate on stupid people all day.
For sure. So do you listen to hip-hop a lot?
Yeah, I love hip-hop.
Who are some of your favorites?
Illmatic is probably my favorite album ever. Aside from that, like Tribe Called Quest, a lot of East Coast 90s hip-hop type shit. This is a lot of where I originally kind of started my hip-hop adventure. It's like all the shit that I liked originally, like Wu-Tang Clan, Tribe Called Quest, all that good shit. And then, like a lot more of the, like, jazzy hip-hop. Like, I was really into, like, woke-ass jazzy hip-hop in high school. And, now recently with the Suicide Boys, all that heavier shit coming out, that's a cool wave. But I think that's a fucking crowded beach to be on right now. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's something to be said for it as well. I enjoy it. I like, draw inspiration from that as well. But, yeah, I think more so nowadays, if I listen to music, I'm listening to more of my roots, some hip-hop or, like, some East Coast boom bap. Not really so much for West Coast. I'm Biggie over Tupac. It's fucked up. Tupac's so good, too. But I'm Biggie over Tupac.
I feel that. I was on to Biggie before I was on to Tupac, but now I just love everybody. Yeah, but it's nice to see, because like you were saying, like there's this wave of hip-hop, and people, like, no matter how much, like, clout they have or, like, how dope they are as, like, I don't know, just as, like, a figure, I guess.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just really fall short as far as, like, lyrics and stuff. So as gritty as your music is, it's, like, a breath of fresh air to hear, like, you can listen to the song and, like, actually understand you're trying to make, like, have a message.
I appreciate
rather than just, like, spit on a dope beat. You know what I mean?
I mean, I do spit on a dope beat, too, and I can't hate on it, because sometimes...
No, yeah, there's
like,
a place for
what's
it.
Bitch, you guess it. Dude,
Yeah.
that was the most stupid, ignorant shit ever. But I'll fist fight people to that song all day, man.
Yeah, and
it's
like,
so good.
Listeners, hate me if you want, but I fuck with Cardi B. Heavy.
Cardi B's so good.
Right? And there's a place for all of that, you know, in music.
Yeah,
but
there's a place.
But I am such a fan of, like, lyricism and, like, actually, like, wordplay and stuff like that. It's cool to hear that in your music.
Thank you. I mean, Cardi B's got mad wordplay and lyricism, too.
Yeah.
But it's still on that very basic materialist fucking caveman. It's like caveman slams for rap.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, it's not bad, but it's nothing special.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be something special. Fucking got to.
Hell yeah, bro.
Because otherwise I'm just fucking noise.
Yeah.
And that's like, if anything, at least that's what I can draw away from, like, people who like Gutter Love are like cult members. So it's cool. It's like people who care, really give a fuck. And I've never met these people, but I've known them for 4 years because they're always interacting with me and Gutter Love online.
Yeah.
That's great.
Hell yeah, bro.
So, are you, because it looks at this point, you're trying to take that, like, independently?
You're not trying to get signed or anything?
Yeah, no, not for the foreseeable future. I mean, if somebody came at me with a plan, I'd be definitely down to listen.
What would happen if traders took off but then it would be like, yo, you're gonna be full time, like we're gonna be this and that. You got signed like to a big record, but you couldn't do like. Wouldn't be able to
if Traders was popping off like that, and we ended up getting that record deal, and it was like actually what we wanted, and it was not realistic. If it was that dream deal, then fuck yeah, I'm dropping all my shit. Sure. I mean, I got a woman that I love, but she understands that people are on paths in life, and everyone's just trying to fucking figure themselves out. I'm 26, and I got fucking decades of figuring shit out to go.
For
so
sure.
Yeah, at that point, hell no way I could turn down that opportunity.
No, I feel you. I was curious about that.
But at the same time, I feel like if you were offered any sort of deal, and it would be a situation where it's like, yo, you're gonna have to put such and such hours into this project now, so you're not gonna have as much time. I feel like you, seeing like the type of person you are, you'd find a way to make time for that.
I would have that. I got a little mini. What's it? I can't remember what company it is, but it's a backpacker guitar. It's like less than a foot wide and like 3 feet long. So you can just store it in your little side carriage. So if I got the deal of the century, I'd just have that bitch in the tour van, and I could fucking jam out when I need to. On metal tour, it's like therapeutic too. And it's on that Guitar Center, I gotta hit the acoustic guitars just to do something different.
Yeah.
So I don't like fucking after day 35, you fucking running your head against the wall, just playing the same riff every night. And it's like you can get passionate about it too in the live performance, but it's like it turns into just like muscle memory. I don't want something I love so much to get boring.
Yeah. Do you have any upcoming? I don't know if it already passed or if it's upcoming soon, but the Kava Culture at FMB.
Yeah, have you been doing that regularly?
I was going to their the Tuesday one, the open mic there regularly. I played that show this last Saturday. Mm-hmm. They were on some bullshit. I'm not even trying to put it on the radio right now, but I will state one fact. They asked me if I wanted the PA inside or outside that night. I was like, oh, I'll take the PA inside. Thank you so much, man. And I get there, and there's no PA. And they had taken the PA to a different venue for a different show, even though the dude knew I was playing that show there. So I had to I got there like half an hour before the doors were supposed to open. So now I have to fucking, drive like an asshole back to my house and get half of a PA. And luckily my homie just happened to have another monitor. So we had this ramshackle ass PA going on. But it was a good show. It was a great show.
Nice.
Yeah, none of my fans bought Kava too, so they were mad about that, I believe. All my fans fucking wanted a beer. And it is a sober environment.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that because
it's half of the reason I liked it initially. I was not drinking for I think it ended up being 2 months at that time. And I was just like, oh, this is great. I can come to this open mic every week, and it's fucking there's kombucha and shit that's way overpriced that I can drink, and not a bunch of drunk assholes.
You performed as Gutter Love, right?
Yes, sir. I think I've done one Gutter God set there. What was it? Some dude. I tried to do it at Bonita set, Gutter God, and they said it was too tough for Kava Culture.
Okay, because that's one thing I wanted to ask, because I used to go to the Bonita ones all the time, and I wondered if you picked venues based on kind of the crowd, because Kava has a certain type of people, and if you're a certain type of performer, you're definitely not going to cater to those type of people.
Oh boy, I know it. Yeah.
Is that something that you prepare for, or do you just try to seek other venues?
At that point, I learned that on the fly. At this point, I'm just trying to go to as many open mics as possible.
Yeah.
Because it's guaranteed that I can play some music in front of at least, even if it's the fucking 2 people at number 3 at Monday at 9 p.m. at night. I can have some t-shirts set up, and I can fucking play some music, and maybe some random from Ohio will come in and think the "Sorry Mom, I'm So High" shirt is funny and give me $20, and it's like, fuck yeah, made my night.
And you're doing what you're having fun with it, you love doing that, so it's not
I'm not even beyond just my enjoyment of going out and doing it and the necessity of making some money for dinner. I'm not allowed to be so picky on the particular environments that I go to, but yeah, I do better on Thursday nights. I'll do better at Howl, which is more my community, than I would at Bonita Kava Culture.
Yeah. And
there's more people at Bonita sometimes, but it's just different folks. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's
it's a little bit different.
Definitely. On that note, I imagine most of what you do, because you probably work very, very often throughout your day, but most of your work is also fun. Like, it's also things that you love, because these are all passion projects, and you're working at the same time as you're enjoying what you're doing. But is there anything you do outside of all of that work? Like, what do you do in your free time, when you have free time?
When I have free time and it's just purely unadulterated, I try to do fucking nothing. I try to stay off of my feet because my knees are probably hurting. I guess the gym counts as free time too. Definitely try and do that if I can. But I just like fucking laying in bed in a nice air-conditioned room, watching some Ken Burns Vietnam documentaries. God, I've been on the Ken Burns kick, actually. I did, the PBS documentary on the West, PBS documentary on the Roosevelt family, and the Ken Burns documentary on Vietnam and World War II. That shit, because I can keep that shit going too while I'm like doing packaging and shit. I had that shit running. I'll watch like 5 hours of shit because I'm doing 5 hours of packaging, and it's just like background information about terrible traumatic war shit. It's probably not good to go in my subconscious while I'm working. That or just like Joe Rogan podcast or some shit going on in the background. I like skateboarding in my spare time too, but I'm too goddamn lazy, and it's way too goddamn hot in Florida more often than not. Yeah. I'll get so like tuckered out in like an hour.
Definitely, yeah, the sun takes it out of you. Let's hope these next couple months it cools down a little bit.
Yeah, right? We're going into October, and it's goddamn 95 degrees today or some shit.
For real, it'll probably be that way until like January.
I should stop cursing so much, man.
It's all good. Oh yeah, you actually can't cuss. I gotta bleep all those.
Yeah, in my life, I need to stop cursing more so than anything. Yeah. The podcast, you can bleep me out. I'll give you the extra work.
Hell no, I'm not gonna bleep anything. We're explicit here. We put that E. All right. The last thing that I want to get into is you said you didn't have any ghost stories, which is fine. I don't either. But if you have just any sort of crazy stories you want to share with the listener, the microphone is all yours.
All right. I said I was gonna find a crazy story off the top, and now I'm unprepared, trying to think of a good crazy story. So I feel like shit happens all the time on tour that I just like take for granted is fucking insane.
You said you've been to Europe. Off air, you said you've been to Europe multiple times. Was there any crazy things that happened in that experience? I imagine traveling.
Yeah, Europe is weird in that, like, it's just a weird fucking culture shift. Because I had been to Europe before with my family, but I think nobody else in the band at that time had been to Europe. And it was like, it was fucked up shit. Like in Germany, we were in Berlin, Germany. I got to hang out with my sister who lives out there. But they were telling us like literally, if you want drugs, because it was like the promoter. It was like, if you're looking for drugs, go to the fucking train stop and just find a black dude. And we were like, that's fucking racist, right? But literally, every single black dude, if you like make eye contact with them, they literally are like all like refugees and shit. Like that are working under this system. And we found this out later because there was this fucking dude that was like trying to sell us drugs and ended up doing drugs and like left his drugs on the table because he thought cops were coming because he was so fucking high. We could have like robbed him, but we were like, bro, come back and take your drugs. I don't want that shit. Like, so yeah, we ended up finding through this guy that they fucking all these, like, because it's Germany, so the majority of black people who are out at 2 a.m. on the fucking train stop, they're all apparently like refugees that basically like the European version of a coyote. So they had people bring these dudes in from Africa, but then they go, no, now you're in debt. So I'm going to pretty much like hold your little sister hostage until you make enough money selling my drugs to pay me off. And that was like fucking absolutely brutal. It was like this fucking 20-year-old kid that was just like, oh, that was, yeah. That kind of stuff is the crazy stories. Like when you really do like see some fucking life-altering injuries at shows and shit.
Yeah.
Like, that shit's like, it gives you pause. It doesn't give most people pause, but it gives me pause at least to be like, I saw this dude fucking lose a tooth and break a nose and get his gauge ripped out. Like, fuck. I think I'm not supposed to call him gauge. It's a plug. It's the plug with the hole. Tunnel. I'm gonna get yelled at by Hal. I'm just kidding.
So wait, that was it. one of your shows? You saw that happen in the crowd?
Yeah, that was a while ago. But I mean, we've had like people have seizures. We've had people with bones sticking out of their arms and shit. Like people get fucking hurt really bad moshing. It's just like totally not taken account for. And they're just finding out now that most of the brain injury and like early onset Alzheimer's is leading from the small rocks as opposed to like big hits and concussions. Oh, so really? Me headbanging all night, all of those small hits is just Alzheimer's. So I'm really excited for that to come through along with the meniscus tear. That is inevitable. I didn't know what a meniscus was until it was disappearing.
That's the struggle.
That's not a crazy story. That's just my life. Okay, here's a good crazy story. Here's the craziest thing I've ever seen with my own two eyes.
Get it.
Let me see if I can remember this correctly. I had freebased 2CP, and I had eaten 2CI, and snorted 2CE. Something along those lines. It was with those three. I can't remember what the order was correctly. But, so we were fucking taking a walk around, my friend Nikki D'Angelo. What's up, Nikki D? We were fucking taking a walk around this community, and there was this fucking tree that I was just staring at, and the core of the tree, the stalk and the branches was made out of like condensed light. It was just emanating like the fucking wood was God. And then all of the leaves were like little bits of alligator flesh with like teeth and like scale and blood and like little bits of bone hanging out of them. And there was like fucking like organs and shit wrapped around the tree like party banisters. And it was just pulsating and fucking breathing. All these little dead bits of meat. The leaves were like moving when it was windy. And it was like totally okay with me for some reason. And that whole night, I remember also, whenever I was closing my eyes that entire trip, it was like fucking brutal, like absolutely brutal, reprehensible, like torture scenes. Like really detailed, like gory, brutal shit. So that's just how weird my brain is. And then what? I was at his house too, and his dog turned into like a Pokemon, like a fire Pokemon. His hair was all like fire. It was a golden retriever. It was fucking sick. And his couch turned into the Pee Wee Herman couch. Instead of the two little wood bits for eyes, and just started talking to me. That was the craziest thing I've ever seen. Don't do drugs, because then you won't be able to remember questions that people ask you fucking 30 seconds after they ask. But maybe you might have good rambling abilities.
Yeah, you have good podcast material.
I'm trying to be Joey Diaz out here, cocksucker.
Do you have any more questions or topics you want to jump on before we wrap it up? We can get right into outro if you want.
Yeah, we can probably run it with the outro. We're close to an hour here.
Yeah, get it. Well, actually, before we outro our stuff, I want to give you time to plug any upcoming events or shows or just your website and stuff.
It's the big payoff right here, folks. Pay attention. Get your notepads out. I'm Alan Delatorre. My band is Traders. You can look that up on anything. We're on Spotify. My merchandise is at Scum Apparel. So if you're on Instagram, hashtag Scum Apparel. At Scum Apparel, and the website is usascum.bigcartel.com. Gutter God has merch off of USA Scum, and Gutter Love has merch off of Scum Apparel as well. All of that shit's on Instagram. Hashtag Gutter Love, hashtag Gutter God. It's all that good shit. Hashtag the hate campaign. Hashtag smoke weed every day.
Run it up.
It's been a real pleasure having you in here, dude.
It's been a pleasure being here.
Yeah,
thanks.
for coming by.
Yeah,
not at all,
exciting.
Man.
Just wanted to say thank you. Thank the listeners, dude. This has been episode 32.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here.
32. I'll see y'all on episode 666. I'm gonna fist fight Andy Hall for that episode, man. Let's go.
We'll make it episode
challenge.
66.6. We'll make it episode.
Sweet. I'm on for that. Oh, yeah.
That could work, dude.
I'll take 42.0.
We're getting close to that one.
Yeah, that's true. New episodes every Monday. You can tune in City of Palms Podcast on all social medias. We've really been grinding. We got some good guests lined up when we've been knocking them out, dude.
Hell
it's
yeah.
fire. And that's it, dude. That concludes this. Hit
Yep.
with that outro, Biscuit.
Hell
No,
yeah.
not yet, Biscuit. Not yet, Biscuit. I just wanted to remind about the Patreon. Just the Patreon. Because I did upload the special podcast. It's audio only, no video, because we recorded it way back. But if you support us on Patreon, you'll have access to that audio podcast for special Halloween. Okay.
So spooky. Yeah.
Now hit him with the outro, Biscuit.
We got an outro, Biscuit? Shit, we making hits, taking shits.